Yeah, yeah, yeah. Roll up the green, hit the links with RGB. Pitch, putt, and puff, it's our podcast scene. Talking Burton bogeys, hole in one dream. Golf cart cruising, we're the illest team. Pitch, putt, and puff, light it up, hit the rough. Every swing's a story, we can't get enough. Hazards and hard times, we know it's tough, but we live for the game, fam, that's our stuff. Got my clubs in the trunk, blunt in the front. Tee off in the noon, cause we don't bunt. Discuss in the course, weed strains for lunch. Straight shooters on the greens, not a front. Pitch, put and puff, light it up, hit the rough. Every swing's a story, we can't get enough. Hazards and hard times, we know it's tough, but we live for the game, fam, that's our stuff. Smoking aces, laces tied tight. With a puff we fly, elevate the night. Golf ball soaring, higher than a kite. Fairway to heaven, shining real bright. Pitch, foot and puff, light it up, hit the rough. Every swing's a story, we can't get enough. Hazards and hard times, we know it's tough, but we live for the game, fam, that's our stuff.
And welcome back to another episode of the Pitch, Putt, and Puff podcast. My name is Roger, aka RGB. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Before we get going, though, we're going to give a shout out to a few sponsors, starting off with the newest sponsor. We got Mulligan Wear. Make sure you guys go check out Mulligan Wear on Instagram at mulliganwear_. Go check them out. He's just dropped a new line of hats, polos. He's got 2 different polo options out there for you right now with a bunch of different things to come. Really excited to team up with the Mulligan Wear, John over at Mulligan Wear. Fellow New Yorker, so make sure you guys go check him out. Use promo code PUFF10 to save yourself 10% at mulliganwear_ on Instagram. Will lead you right to the link. Also, we got the guys over at Backland Botanicals. Make sure you guys go check out Backland Botanicals. They got the CBD gummies, the Moonlight Mulligan, the Tea Time Sunrise, the Birdie Boost. Make sure you guys go and check out all those options, as well as their newest option is the Muscle and Joint Therapy Stick. What's it got here? 15 milligrams of hemp power with CBD. Gonna crack this open and try it on the back's a little sore after winning the scramble today, which we'll get into shortly. Also, the guys over at Athletic, AthleThC.com. Make sure you guys check them out. They got the 2 milligram mints. Definitely get into those. They're great for, get you throughout your day. And you can find them at Athletic, AthleThC, and use promo code PUFF for a special discount. Also, we got Marty over at Trouble Off the Tee, TroubleOffTheTee.com, always coming out with something fresh. He's got the line of hats with the Tea Time Sunrise. The I'll Go Alone, Never Lay Up, Scratch Golfer, Golf of America, as well as Camel Chasing. So make sure you guys go give Marty some love at TroubleOffTheTee.com. Use promo code PUFF20. PUFF20 will save you 20% at checkout, as well as don't forget to check out the audiobook available on Spotify and Audible as well. But tonight we're gonna get into the results of this weekend's scramble. So I put the teams together based on my personal rankings, and it seemed to work out pretty good for us today. Teams were myself, Bogey Bub, Fairway Mike, and Hank versus JR, Parisi. We had Kev and Scrounge, aka Brad, out there holding it down today for the 2 groups. So based off what I had, I went kind of in my rankings. By the way, guys have been playing lately. Bob was the 1, Jay was 2. I had Hank at 3, Parisi at 4, myself at 5, Brad at 6, Fairway 7, and Kev rounding out the 8 spot. So that's kind of how it worked out. And to give everybody some advantage, like we had some help with Fairway playing from the senior tees and such, so that was beneficial to us. And then Hank's always, Hank's a closeout guy with the putter, where those guys had, JR and Parisi, who were both long ball hitters, and a guy like Kev and Brad who can clean it up for you around the greens. And that's kind of what happened today. Starting off with the first hole. We came up a little bit short on our second attempt. Bub hit a nice shot up to the right side. We came up a little bit short. It was just off of the green. We ended up par in the first hole. As we're on the second hole, we hear the celebration of those guys burying one. They also have a shot from just off the green. Brad buried about a 10-footer to get them their first birdie of the day. So good mojo going into the day. We're on the second hole. We hear the celebration. Bogey Bob hits one pin high just off on the fringe. He's got about a 4-foot putt, buries it himself. Tee to green, boom. That was our saying today. Tee to green. So bogey got us right back in contention with the birdie on 2. Those guys followed it up with a par. No bogeys on the card all day from either squad. So going into 3, we're all tied up, both 1 under. We each group pars the 3rd hole. We had a tough little putt to make sure we locked in that par, but we took care of business there. Those guys followed it up. Then we get to 4. I had a good hole on 4. Hit one up the left side about 80 yards out. Stuck it about 8 to 10 feet with a little downhill putt. As Hank was saying all day, tee to green, tee to green. So I ended up burying that for a birdie. I thought that's a tough hole, so I thought that was going to give us a little bit of a cushion going in 5, 6, and 7. But shout out Kevy Kev. Kevy Kev always comes up in the clutch in these scrambles. He's real consistent with the putter, and he ended up burying a nice 15-foot putt in a tough position. I think they were just off the green on that shot for a birdie as well. So now 5th hole, we're still tied up, pretty much battling it out neck and neck. Each group parred their way through until 7. Got a birdie on the 7th hole. Who was it for us? I believe it was Bob. Walked right up, tapped it in for the par. I had a pretty decent tee shot on that, set us up for a good second shot, and we were kind of under the tree on the right side of 7th hole of Freer. They did take some trees out, but with some of the overhang, it's tough to get to the green from there. Everything rolls off to the left, so we ended up just short of the green. I believe it was fairway. Actually, this was fairway Mike. Fairway Mike stepped up big for us on this. Chipped one close, and then we had a tap-in putt. So fairway really picked us up because I went long on my chip attempt. Hank went to the left, and fairway settled it in there about 6 inches away. Bub just tapped it in. We all went back to the cart. Not sure what that group did on 7, but I know they ended up with a birdie there. We rolled down to 8. Myself, and Bogey Bub ended up struggling a little bit off the tee on that shot. And then we had Hank clean up the mess with a nice drive where we set ourselves up. I think we ended up parring this. We almost had a bogey on this hole. This is really an important hole for us. I hit my second shot for us. We were about 145 out and stuck a pitching wedge about 10 feet, but it was a tough. Once we missed, it was rolling downhill on us. So if we didn't get it to the hole, I came up just short, inches short of the birdie, rolled about 4 feet downhill. So we ended up having a 4-foot putt back up. Bub was me, fairway, and Hank all missed it. Bub cleaned it up. Now, Bogey Bub was putting his ass off today. If he plays like that on a regular day, that's a 70s round for him. If he putts like that, for sure. So rolling into the 8th hole, those guys also parred it. Had a couple good drives I seen from that group. I believe Parisi put a nice one down the right side, as well as JR. So they had a couple good looks at it. We get into 9. 9, we end up parring. Another tough hole for us. What did we do there? We went left of the green, and same thing. Bogey Bob coming up clutch, burying about a 10-footer for us. So big putts around on the greens for Bogey Bob today. Really something he struggles with normally, but maybe the not the pressure of his own round and just kind of the relaxed format of the scramble made it a little bit easier for him to get into drop some of those putts. That second group, we watched them. They had a similar shot to us just off the green. Brad came up a little bit short. Kev and Parisi both rolled past, and JR settled one in. Nice little shot by Jay. He tucked it in there for a little tap in. So they ended up with a par on the front. Pretty much we both went tied up 3 under going into the back. So on the back nine is where things really got cooking. 10th hole, we ended up going left side. All 4 of us missed a birdie putt by less than an inch. Had the hole surrounded like SWAT, but we couldn't knock it down. Those guys did a similar. They followed it up. They had a shot to the right. Ended up sticking one. I think it was Kev had a good shot going in. Brad, excuse me. Brad had about an 8-footer. A lot of movement on that green, though. A little bit different speed than some of the other holes as well. So Brad stuck at about 8 feet. Those guys all missed the putt, ended up with a par. So now we're cooking with gas. We're rolling into 11. Not the best tee shots for us. We get out there. Always like to try to get on in two. We were just past the bunkers a little bit. I got under mine a little bit. Bob ended up going left. So we ended up playing mine. We ended up knocking in a birdie. I forget who stuck that shot there for us. I want to say it was Bob again coming up, or it might have been Hank. Hank started picking it up on the back nine. Really, really helped us. The holes me and Bob struggled on, Hank and fairway did clean up, and that's the best part about the scramble. We had like a solid team. I think both teams were pretty solid, but where we needed guys to make shots, they made shots. Um, so after 11 with our birdie, we're cooking with gas. Those guys ended up doing the same thing. Parisi hit a bomb inside 200. They had a shot in about 170 out. And let's see, Brad literally buried one that was super wet because of the rain we had yesterday. And Brad stuck one right in the front of the green. Jay sailed one long. Parisi took one left of the woods, and Kev came up just a little bit short. So they went with Brad's for an eagle. Kev almost buried it. He was a few inches short on that, but gave them the momentum to knock in a birdie. So now we're all tied up, 4 under after 11. Both teams, we tee off on 12. I said my approach shot a little bit short. So does Bub. Our man Hank sticks one about 10 feet. Same thing though. We all struggle. We missed the birdie putt. End up with par. Now we see these guys following up. They have a good tee shot right down the middle. We stick around to watch. Kev stuck one on the greens, about 15, 20 feet, a little bit long in the pin. Had a downhill putt coming back. Parisi ended up in the bunker, and Brad followed up. I think Brad went a little bit long, and Jay stuck one just to the right, just short of the green in the front. Not sure which one they played, but either way, it was a tough birdie look for them on that hole. A lot of movement on that green. Everything in the back is very undulated for the most part, so you're going to get a lot of movement. And with that being said, they ended up with a par. So we roll into the 13th hole, par 3. Still 4 under, tied at 4 under. I'm thinking the whole time, wow, I did a pretty damn good job matching these teams up. Everybody had a lot of fun today. I could see that group was having a good time. There was a good vibe amongst each other, everybody. But yeah, we were out there and let's see, 13. I stuck one, went right, but the boys cleaned it up. Bogey Bub jammed one on the green as well as Hank. So we had 2 good looks at it for a birdie. Once again, came up, we didn't get a birdie there. Came up a little bit short. So on that hole, we ended up with par. So we pretty much, both groups were battling it out. On 14 as well, or 13 as well, those guys ended up with a par. Jay stuck one close, but a little bit long on a downhill putt on 13. Ended up with a par. So now we're still 4 under going into 14. Our group, first ones to go, boom. Cooking with gas. We get a nice couple tee shots. Hank sticks one down the middle, 180 out. Me and Bub both land. I land the green. Bub just right off the green, but 2 good looks at it. We had 3 putts, same thing, right there on line. Just came up a little short. So we ended up par in 14. Now, obviously, in the course, we see what those guys are doing and what's going on. So the 14th hole, we hear the celebration. They ended up with a birdie, so now they got the lead. We're getting we're not nervous, but we know we got to lock one in here and lock in another birdie to try to jump back into this, and hopefully they make a mistake. So 15th hole, this is where it gets interesting. 15th hole, we got a tee shot. I hit a good one right down the middle. Bub cleans it up nice with his second shot. Gets us just short. We're probably 20 yards off the green. Couple good chips at it. We ended up with a birdie on this hole. I think it was Bub again who made the putt. The kid was putting lights out today. It was Bub or Hank who made the putt today on 15 to lock in the birdie. So once again, we stick around and see what these guys their next move is. Tee shot, same as ours, real good, right down the pipe, right side of the green, or right side of the fairway on 15. Not the best second shots, and I think this is where it really cost them. So they have a little bit of a discussion. They have one ball that's about 15, 20 yards off the green to the right side. They wouldn't have a lot of room to work with, and if they missed long, it was going to be a long putt on the way back. Now, on the other option was a shot to the left. probably about 60 yards back. So now they have about an 80-yard look in. And with that being said, they have a little bit more green to work with. The pin was tucked right in the right side in the front, so it was a red flag. Um, with that being said, they just back and forth. They had a little conversation about it. They decided to go back to the longer shot, which I was kind of like, I wasn't surprised by because it is kind of a better look, but you're costing yourself a lot of yards right there. Unless you guys have, unless there's someone on your team whose short game is impeccable where they can really lock it in and stick it within a few feet, that's kind of the shot you go with. But I personally, I can hit a flop shot, so I probably would have went with that shorter shot and just try to sit it down on the front, or even hit a little bump and run. There's a small hill in front of where the shot was. Maybe hit a bump off the hill, and hopefully it sits down for you right off the hill. But still, you're looking at a good, hopefully a decent putt from that distance. They opted for the 80-yard shot. This is where it hurt them. None of them. A couple of guys went long. I believe Kev and Brad went long. Parisi went a little bit right, and Jay stuck one in the front. That's the one they went with. Ended up with a par. So they had the lead. We got it back after 15. And at that point, we weren't looking back. So it was all tied up. Once again, 16th hole. We end up with a par. Bub hit a good shot. Bub stuck a nice second shot there as well. Right within 8 feet, we all missed the putt. It was tough uphill putt, little slight break at the end. If you didn't put enough on it, it was breaking on you at the hole. One of those raised holes. Those guys, same thing. A couple good tee shots. I seen a couple. I think it was Parisi down the right side. Parisi got off the tee real well. I think that second shot was affecting him a little bit today, but I haven't played with him much, so I got to see what's going on with his game. Maybe I'll hop in his group next week. That's the thing. He's only playing on the weekend, so not being consistent out there does take a toll on you after a while. Now we roll into all par 16, 17th hole. Big shots, tough green, pins tucked down on the right side. Everything slopes down to the right on this hole. We end up, I believe it was Hank, stuck one right in the middle of the fairway, or right in the middle of the green for us, where we're all looking. I think it was about a 15, 20-foot downhill putt. Fairway started us off. He stuck it within 2 inches. Beautiful putt by Fairway Mike, but wasn't the one that didn't end up going in for us. Oops, excuse me. And so then I followed it up. I went just a little bit long, ran the edge. Hank stuck one short, and Bub came up as close as you can get, within about an inch. So we ended up with a par on that. Those guys, same thing. We stick around to see their tee shots. Best tee shot they had was just off to the right. So they had a par at best, unless they chipped one in on their second shot. So we knew we were going to be tied up going into 18. Now, as we get to 18, we say to the guys, all right, just get us out there. This is a drivable green for me and Bob if we really get a hold of one. Let's make sure we get a good shot out there, and so we can kind of let it rip and shorten this hole up for us. That being said, Hank starts us off, pops one off to the left. So in a little bit of trouble, about 125 yards out, I think we were, right up next to a tree. And at Scramble, you get the club's length, so we had a little room to work with. Now, fairway hits from the senior. Senior tees are right on the same box, so we didn't have to worry about them going down or anything. You just hit from right there. Fairway was cooked for the day. He didn't really want to get into it anymore. He was good. Nah, man, you guys are going to do fine, man. You guys, I'm like, Mike, we need one in the fairway. You got to hit. So sure enough, my man, Fairway Mike comes up in the clutch, puts us in within 130 yards, just down the left side. So we're in good shape at this point. So me and Bub can kind of let it rip. I fire one, hit my low stinger, ends up in the bunker, dead nuts, middle of the fairway. Perfect spot for a bunker here. So the green's kind of surrounded by bunkers. I ended up about 50, 60 yards out in the bunker. Bub pops one left on the 10th fairway. Decent look at it, but we got a little bit of distance and trouble. So we kind of come to the point where these guys were on 15 and have the discussion of like, all right, what's our best shot? And I got to give credit to Bub because he was the one confident enough to say, let's just hit from the bunker. We're 60 yards out. We can get one to the bunker. I go first, end up hitting the ball clean, getting it over the green. So not our best look. Fairway fouls it up. He'll tell you himself, he's not good at getting out of the bunker. So he gets one out good if it was a greenside bunker, just a little bit short for us. And then this is where it gets interesting. Hank and Bub. Hank fires one out of there, just sticks it about 10 feet to the left side. Beautiful shot. Just what we needed. So now we're cooking with gas, and we got a good look at birdie here. Bub follows it up, sticks it about 5-6 feet. We got a downhill putt, but we got a chance to really sink this birdie and put the pressure on those guys going into 18. They see us. They see us up there on the green. They see where we are, and sure enough, fairway goes first, pulls it a little left, but gives a great read. I followed up. I run the edge, didn't break the way I thought it was, and stayed a little bit on the outside for me. Followed up by Hank. Now Hank gets to see a guy. I say this before. I talked about it on other podcasts. Hank is the guy you want in the closeout moments, especially on the green. So Hank got to see two of them. He was going third for us at the time because we were playing tee to green. So Hank got two looks. Hank took his time. Boom, buried it. We get the bird. We're looking at this point 6 under for the day. Having a day, it's a lot better. 6 under for us is kind of what I didn't expect it, honestly, because last year when we did this, it was like 2 or 3 under. So getting a 6 under, shows that team played solid. We played some solid golf. We definitely played it as a team, I would say, on our side of things. Everybody stepped up when they needed to. There was moments throughout the whole round where, fairway was, even though, he wasn't making some of the putts, the reads he was giving us were helping us get a good look at what we had to do next. Like on the 10th hole, he stepped up and almost buried a nice one for us, but gave us a good read. We all missed it the exact same way, but it was just little things like that. Hank stepping up on 8 after me and Bub didn't go off the tee well. A lot of shots. Bub with the putter. I was getting us off the tee on certain holes. That was like 15, the par 5s. I was getting us some distance out there on 7, 15. So giving us an opportunity to get on in 2. So now we're on 18. We're watching these guys. Kev pops them down the middle. Brad, same thing. They're about 130 yards out. Parisi loses one off to the right. Jay hits a little snapper. So I think they're going off a Brad's ball at this point. Brad, or who started them off? Kev. Kev went left or came up short. Kev started them off, came up short. Jay, same thing. Or Jay was the closer. Brad with their second shot. Brad stuck a nice one. He was about 9-10 feet. Had a little backspin on it going towards the hole. So nice little shot by Brad. Gives them a real good look at birdie here. Parisi, boom, same shot, a little bit longer than Brad. So they're going to go a Brad shot here. Jay came up a little bit short. So this is big shots right here. So I believe they had this is where I was shocked by. Now the decision making, the strategic aspect of golf. You got to have that one strategic guy on your team, and that's kind of where Bub came in for us today on 18 to say, yo, let's take this shot. The confidence of saying let's take this shot out of the bunker, and him being the one who made the shot to stick us close. So on 18, they start off with JR, probably their best putter, personally, in my opinion, to go first. 8 to 10 footer downhill, a little bit of movement, comes up, got a good line on a good pace, just pushes it just a little bit right and short. So these guys got to look now. Kev follows it up, same thing, pushes it to the right, long. So now we get 2 down, 2 to go for our chance to lock in this W here. Brad goes to line up his putt. As he's lining up his putt, Parisi goes to pick up his ball, smacks himself in the face with the putter, starts bleeding, distracts Brad. Parisi tells him to get the hell out of the way. Parisi, also a good putter, decides to jump in front of Brad. Parisi pulls it to the left, so now it's Scrounge. All the pressure's on Scrounge. And he has a great roll at it, and just this thing was online. I stood behind Scrounge for this one. I wish I had it on film. This thing was online the whole time until it got about a half inch from the cup and decided to do the okie doke and work its way right around. But that locked in the victory for Team Fairway Mike. I'll put him as our team captain today because he was definitely locked in for about 16 holes and then he gave up. But yeah, we took home the W. RGB, Bub, Hank, and Fairway versus Brad, aka Scrounge, Kevy, Kev, Jay, and Parisi. Overall, good time. I like doing these every once in a while. I'd like to do 3 groups next time. I think it'd be a lot more fun getting the extra team out there and spreading out the talent. I think the teams were picked pretty well. I mean, we came down to literally the last part of the day. But overall, great time. We got Father's Day weekend coming up. Going to be a lot of golf. This coming Sunday, let's see. I'm definitely going to try to lock in the three tee times. Get the upstate guys out here. Get Mikey and Kirk back out here. Get Ant Man, the rest of the crew, any other dads I can get out here for a day to have a good time on the course. That's what we're looking to do. But yeah, this week we're gonna take a couple days off. We got a tournament and stuff going on up there, but we'll be back out there Wednesday. I think Brad's got the week off, so Brad's going to be joining me, Bogey Bub, and Fairway out there on Wednesday, probably on Thursday as well. So we'll get right back into the swing of things and then follow up Sunday with another round of the Pitch Putt Puff. But coming up this week on the podcast, going to bring back my man Michael from the Legends Golf Club out in Cali. Then hopefully we'll bring on some of the guys, talk some Father's Day golf this upcoming weekend, and maybe even do something different like a Ryder Cup this weekend where we can put some teams together and do something to that extent, depending on how many guys we got. But overall, real good time today out there with the crew, as always, jamming out the tunes, smoking doobs, and having a grand old time. Always comical, especially the crew we had out there. And I could tell the group behind us with Jay and company was enjoying themselves, a lot of laughs, an overall good time. But appreciate everybody tuning in to the Pitch Putt Puff. Make sure you guys go check out our sponsors. Once again, Mulliganware at Mulliganware _ on Instagram. Go on there, click his link in bio, take you right to his page. Also, use promo code PUFF10 to save yourself 10%. Dope hats, the polo. She got some right here. We got the white, the red, white, and blue trucker hat. And then the polo as well. Camo polo. I'm a big fan of the collars here too. So shout out Mulliganware, promo code PUFF10. Check them out, Mulliganware _ on Instagram. Then we got Athletic, ATHLETHC.com. Use promo code PUFF for a special discount over there with the 2 milligram THC mints. And then my guy Marty over at Trouble Off the Tee, TroubleOffTheTee.com. Promo code PUFF20 will save you 20% on hats. He's got on his website. He's got the Camel Chasing, Scratch Golfer, Never Lay Up, I'll Go Alone, and Golf of America. And don't forget to check out the audiobook. And, of course, the crew over at Back Nine Botanicals, who has been extremely supportive of the Pitch Putt and Puff crew. We got the Moonlight Mulligan. You got the Birdie Boost. Don't forget about the THC shooters I forgot to mention earlier. The orange is the new flavor as well as the passion fruit. So go check them out. Backtimebotanicals.com, promo code TPUFF10. TPUFF10 will save you 10% at checkout. And once again, go like, subscribe, share it to the YouTube page. Trying to get a little bit bigger following over there. Going to do some more lives as well. But yeah, appreciate everybody tuning in, and we will catch you next time on the Pitch Putt and Puff podcast. Peace.
Roll up the green, hit the links with RGB. Pitch Putt and Puff, it's our podcast scene. Talking Burt and Bogies, hole in one dream. Golf cart cruising, we're the illest team. Pitch Putt and Puff, light it up, hit the rough. Every swing's a story, we can't get enough. Hazards and hard times, we know it's tough, but we live for the game, fam, that's our stuff. Got my clubs in the trunk, blunt in the front. Tee off in the noon, cause we don't bunt. Discussing the course, weed strains for lunch. Straight shooters on the greens, not a front. Pitch, Putt and Puff, light it up, hit the rough. Every swing's a story, we can't get enough. Hazards and hard times, we know it's tough, but we live for the game, fam, that's our stuff. Smoking aces, laces tied tight with a puff, we fly, elevate the night.